Hello, my name is Von Fry, probably YouTube's most disdained movie critic, and welcome to my commentary track on 1986's Aliens, directed by Jim Cameron, starring Sigourney Weaver, Michael Biehn, Paul Reiser, and I'm sure some other fine folks such as Lance Henriksen. And is it Carrie Henn? Is that the name of Newt? Anyhow, we are watching this on Amazon Prime Video as it is leaving, and I will probably even get cut off in the final minutes. But I've seen this movie enough times to be able to tell you what happened, even if Amazon yanks it at the last second. Before we get started, want to give a quick mention to Caldera Lab. That's calderalab.com. Get some of the finest skincare so that you don't have to look like you've been in cryo for 50 years, like Ripley. So we're picking up at 0000. Oh, by the way, I'll have links, all this other cool stuff in the pinned comment below. If you want to queue this up and watch this on whichever stream platform you are going to be partaking this in, this is the special edition. There are some extended scenes that I think are justifiably worth including. I think that this slightly superior version of the film does give motivation to Ripley, and we'll cover all of that. Come on, I got to get this started before Amazon pulls it off the service. 0000, hit play now. This could be my most disastrous streaming commentary track, because there is a good chance that Amazon yanks this with maybe, 5 or 10 minutes left in the movie, because an hour 55-minute runtime for the special edition. Now, Vaughn, you could have done the commentary on the regular. There were things that I felt like I wanted to talk about. By the way, this good transfer right here, Prime Video, as of this recording, offers Alien in 4K. Does not offer Aliens in 4K. I always felt that Alien looked sharper, cleaner, somewhat newer than Aliens. But it doesn't offer that 4K Blu-ray. Carrie Henn, I was right, yeah. She has a great Twitter bio, by the way. I tweet mostly at night, mostly. Bill Paxton, how can I forget? I like the title sequence. I wonder how they did that. Typically, titles in the 80s, they would print out glass plates and then run the camera over. You may have seen the behind the scenes on how the crawl is done, for example, in Star Wars. A bit of a reteaming here in ways for James Cameron and others. Michael Biehn, he was in the Terminator. He's brought in to replace James Remar. You see story by Walter Hill. I'm thinking the Walter Hill connection for the Warriors gets James Remar in this. But there were some conflicts. I think he might have been drinking. And I wonder if someone gets kicked off a movie for drinking, if that, the history is written by the victor, I guess. So, hey, we did the movie, you didn't, you got kicked out, we'll come up with the excuse, possibly. That's what I wonder. In a similar fashion to Alien, and I think I'll try to create this comparison for the people who say that Aliens is the same movie. Playing the devil's advocate here, nearly identical opening. Ellen Ripley is in cryo sleep, and the computer is turning on, being activated, only now someone's coming to meet her. And it is a little eerie. You bring in this industrial probe. It looks like the type of thing they would use to make GMC trucks. I do have this movie on DVD, the special edition. And it is the loudest DVD possibly ever pressed. We're talking when they get to the Sentry guns were not in the theatrical. Maybe they cut them out. One, they're redundant, but maybe they cut them out because it was in a test screening, no one could handle it. That's a possibility. The sweet, atmospheric, theatrical fog that you cannot have in movies anymore because it's a carcinogen. Such a shame. The theatrical smoke. I think that it turned out that a lot that they were using was bad. And there still may be some. Maybe there's like a water vapor or something they decided you're allowed to use. Maybe OSHA and SAG came to an agreement. I don't know. You kind of wonder who's picking her up. Oh, okay, maybe it's humans. Like, there's questions there. Cold, covered in ice. You know, you drift away like that. I'm assuming all the life support systems, all that stuff's out. Pans over to the cat. The attention shown to the cat like that would almost lead you to believe that, oh, well, if the cat's carrying an alien, it was left alone for a bit. Something is up with the cat. Like, that's a possibility. But it's a bit of a red herring. Not the worst looking space station. I mean, it's practical, I suppose. Oh, you got a visitor. Look, it's Jonesy. And Carter Burke, right? His name's Carter. Kind of before anybody could really make up their mind on Paul Reiser. I think, was he in Diner? Beverly Hills Cop? This, and I'm not sure if there was much more before this. Maybe I'm mistaken with some stuff. But you would think that his inclusion in Stranger Things, it's tipping the hat that he's going to be the bad guy. He's the company man. So far, that has not been the case. But, you know, if Stranger Things was on in the 90s, we wouldn't have to wait 3 years for a season. They'd shell out 20-some episodes a year. Oh, no one's discussed this with you? Oh, hey, how could it slip my mind? Paul Reiser plays this role well. Maybe he's just a, kind of sneaky guy. How long? How long was I out? Come on, tell me. 57 years. What? You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, you slipped right through. Blind luck, a deep salvage team found you when they did. It's, you know what, if there's not some kind of beacon constantly going off, locate my ship, whatever, it could be really easy to lose somebody in the vastness of space. I could totally see that being a possibility, and probably going to be a recurring theme as humanity moves forward. Lost at space. Lost in space. Died adrift. It's a possibility. Is this the same cat from the 79 movie? What's going on? In a horror film, and it looks like we're starting with the horror vibe here. This Friday the 13th Part 2 immediately kills off the lone survivor from the first movie. And you could be thinking that we're going to be doing the same thing here. Certainly do not, though, because the poster is Sigourney Weaver, so kind of shot yourself in the foot if you're going for legitimate fake out scares there. She wakes up from the dream, which has me wondering, was she actually out 57 years? Because that was information seemingly provided during a dream sequence. I'm thinking about how I'm going to have to... Oh, here we go. The first included special edition scene, and I think this is worth sharing, worth keeping in the film. We have our rear projection colossal TV. The future in an 80s or an early 90s movie was about having a huge-ass TV. That was what the future beholds. A lot of time, a great deposition. You gotta tell the board why you blew up their tanker. Any news about my daughter? This is important. Okay, we've never established that Ripley was a mom in the first movie. So we have to tell her Amanda Ripley, McLaren. Yeah, I never ran across a McLaren for her to meet and, marry in Alien Isolation. But Amanda Ripley, the character from Alien Isolation, it's canon, folks, has died. Did he say it was an earthquake or something? I may have... Amy... named Amanda. You couldn't get a better resolution picture than that, really? No children, I checked. Man, that is... Digital cameras, I think, were either super infancy. I think in 1990, Kodak may have offered a digital camera that was garbage res, and it was like $40,000, and it was supposed to be used by photojournalists. It was some plan. At any rate, it's important that we take away the daughter from Ellen Ripley so that she can be the surrogate mother to Newt. Without her losing a daughter, no established maternal instinct thing about it, it doesn't make sense for you to say, oh, look, it's the mother figure. Now we can. These chairs over here, these are Recaro race seats with the headrests removed. I think they... it looks bizarre. It always looks weird to me to remove headrests in movies when they want to put the camera behind the driver and they got the headrest off. It's always like, oh, come on. No one really takes the headrest out of their car. It's just one of those things they do in movies that it's one of these weird-ass tropes that only happens in movies. Evidently, in the future, the cigarette smoking has gotten a lot safer. You come to order that thing. And she should be coming at this at a different angle. Your company decided that my crew was expendable. Attack them. Okay, supposedly Lambert's gender on the screen there, like someone's looked into this. It's like not female or something. It's like she's the non-binary. So that planet where we found the thing, you're telling me that you got colonists sitting there? Yeah, we looked at it. It's a rock. Well, you go back. No. Hey, we've had colonists there for a while, and they ain't never complained. Creature gestates inside a living human host. Those were your words. Concentrated acid blood. Concentrated. They never bring this up, but look at Ripley's hair. She has essentially the hairstyle from the first movie, but it will get shorter. Came into the ship, said he saw thousands of eggs there. Thousands, thank you. That'll be all. No, they don't believe her. They have some evidence to support their line of thinking because they've done the terraforming over there and not much has happened. So they think it's safe. I do suspect this lady's hairstyle will not come into fashion. I don't know what the hell is that. What's a knight's apprentice called? Like, oh, it's eating me up now. Hereby suspend your license indefinitely. She should have been more on the attack. You assholes ordered us to go get this creature and essentially fed us as the lambs of the slaughter. Oh, you gotta get the psychiatric help, of course, because you're a woman lashing out. That could have been better. Paul Reiser is deceptively funny in this movie, by the way. Why don't you go check out LV 426 yourself? Don't have to. I've been living there for 20 years. Never complained about no organisms. People, terraformers, planet engineers. They go in, set up their big atmospheric processors, and make the air breathable. Takes decades. It's what we call a shake and bake colony. Shake and bake. Is that still a thing? It's shake and bake, and I helped. I may not be. Drinking a Rockstar tonight because I didn't sleep a lot in the last while. Wind howling. Another special edition scene, and I think this is partially cut because the miniature work is a little more on the obvious side. It's reminiscent to what you see in the Terminator. Doesn't it look a little post-apocalyptic? The crawler, I guess we could call it. It's not the best looking miniature. It looks like you have a remote control car. I get it. I do think that it is important that we establish what this colony looks like. I know we went to this place in the last movie, but let's look at it from the perspective of somebody who's watching this movie now. We're bringing in new eyes, right? This movie should stand on its own. We need to see a little bit of what this colony's like. There's a dialogue here I mentioned in my Terminator 2 commentary that was repurposed. It's in Terminator 2, but it was cut from this movie. And it's that, I asked them the same thing. You know what they told me? Don't ask. Sending the Wildcatters out. There you go. We got a mom and pop survey team on the horn. That's going to be Newt's family. Company orders puts him in the middle of nowhere, huh? I don't ask questions. The answer is always don't ask. Okay, well, it's close enough. It's certainly inspired. I don't ask because the answer is don't ask. Here's where we see the Weyland-Yutani logo, not featured in the first movie. I think you only prominently see it in the special edition stuff. The justification for not having in this movie, okay, we have an obvious miniature. I got you. We have a lot of time without Ripley or a central character, but it does introduce us Newt, her family before the chaos, so that we can kind of see how things have changed. I think that's a welcome, worthwhile addition to the screenplay. Okay. There's the derelict. possibly not the same from the original movie. It was not uncommon to totally throw out a lot of things that you saw in movies back then. Should we take a look inside? Oh, you're going to. Could more of this movie been told from the perspective of Newt? Or maybe just stuck with Newt's family? I think that would have been a more traditional way to go about it. The new people on the scene, the audience is way ahead of them. In order to avoid that, you have to kind of change the genre. You remove the horror part, and you make it sort of a space action. Well, it kind of gives you the idea that there'd be spaceship battles. You say space action, but you put in more of an action vibe, and you by maintaining Ripley, you have the character that is on pace with the audience. Still waiting. Maybe they could have trimmed this a little bit. Moved it along. Mayday. Mayday is for a plane that's going down, right? And there's Newt's scream we will be hearing later. They had to build new facehuggers for this movie. And they certainly have more articulation about them, and there's some really clever ways that they get them moving across the floor, jumping at people. And now Ripley has shorter hair. And you know what? I don't think people even realize she got a haircut in this movie. There's Lieutenant Gorman, who is of the train of thought where look, if you want to make your Vietnam allegory, you have a case in a way. You have the lieutenant, who is the graduate, the book smarts, the academy guy, right? And then you have the grunts that were on the ground that have experience. And you come to find that you have the guys without experience leading the people with the experience, and it doesn't work out so well. Then there's also there's like I think a 3 or 4 hour documentary on the making of Aliens called Advanced Firepower or something like that. But it kind of plays up that idea that Vietnam, you have the less capable army that's doing the guerrilla tactics, the hiding, and then you have the overconfident Americans coming in to kick butt. Ultimately, though, the humans kind of win here, or is it a stalemate? I mean, the place gets destroyed, but humans survive, right? I mean, I think that you can make some comparison, but to say, oh, well, the movie's actually about Vietnam is not the way to frame that argument. So it's up to Burke to try to talk Ripley into going to check in on these colonists. We lost contact with them, just like you said, but it's actually been a while. She's been trying to adjust to life on, I'm not sure where she is. I'd about assume she was on that space station still. Maybe there's an apartment complex. Got me a few Reese's Pieces here to indulge in, if you don't mind. More smoking. Man, you cannot smoke in movies these days. Look at that futuristic... give you my card, right? You print your business card on plastic. Still having nightmares. Ripley has to confront her demons, which I don't really buy, because she did confront the alien and seemed to have won the battle. Now, yeah, okay, she could be a little torn up by it, but I don't think she needs to confront it. Maybe there's some desire to try to prevent this from happening to others. Insert your card into the video phone, and that's how you make a phone call now, huh? Tell me one thing, Burke. We're going out there to destroy them, right? Not to study, not to bring back, but to wipe them out. I think this is in the trailer. That's the plan. You have my word on it. Oh... You can't trust the company, man. Big business evil, right? She's like, what am I getting myself in? And you little shithead, you're staying safe here. Jonesy's okay with that. Look at the little freckle on the nose of the cat. And you got to look back at the first movie and see if it has that little freckle, and you might be able to discern if that's the same cat. Or would someone go and freckle a cat to try to get to match? I always felt like the Sulaco ship looked like a giant rifle rather than a spaceship. Oh, wow. In 1080p and 4K, you can see that sexual poster there in the locker room. I think the TV version of this would cut a little sooner. I mean, cut some of that, right? Sometimes they just zoom in on a spot so that the offending material is out of frame. Quick little look around here. Oh, we've got our power loader. We got a dropship. Evidently, it's so important to have little gadgets that kind of entertain themselves while everybody else is out. The sipping cup bird. Here we have this, I don't know, gyro. I don't even know what that is called, honestly. Not totally certain, but I think they may have put up a mirror here to double the amount of these you see on screen, so that you get the impression that there's more of them. Build less sleep chambers that way. Work smarter, not harder, right? We wear more clothes in the Marines when we go to sleep. They're wearing legit underwear here, not some weird strap across the chest. There are a number of Marines. By the way, this was the rapist from Shawshank Redemption right there is Drake. Michael Biehn, you know the man. Bill Paxton, he's a joy. You got to see this in HD to really make out the tattoos people have and read the customization of their armor. The talent was kind of just given armor and told, hey, do something with this, personalize it, do something. And they do it up. It's not by the book military stuff, and it has a Vietnam-like aesthetic about it with the personalization, the Born to Kill, right? From, oh man, I have a lot of crumbs in this bag. Full Metal Jacket. Oh, this movie could get canceled today. I'm surprised the cancel police haven't come for it before Jeanette Goldstein is Vasquez. Got a nice little Jewish gal in... Oh, am I going to get canceled here? Beaner face? What do we call it if you're pretending to be Hispanic? Inadvertently being one of the most iconic Hispanic characters in all of movies. Just absolutely perfect here. People have written articles about how this movie... There's so many movies trying to copy how well this movie gives character to its cast of characters so effectively. Like, we just instantly like these guys. Even though we're talking about the Arcturian Poontang, and there's a number of them have a lot of lines and get killed early. This guy Frost, who cares? I wonder if you can get some of that Arcturian Poontang in the Aliens Fireteam Elite game that just came out. Lance Henriksen, also from the Terminator. Obviously, the knife trick is a trick of editing, but boy, does it look... It looks so good. It would look worse today. Trust me. I mean, look, everybody else kind of looks like they're on looking at normal speed. Not just something to be goofy. This shows you that we have a synthetic on board and that the situation has kind of changed with synthetic and human life. And Paul Reiser is hilarious right here. Perfectly delivers this dry. Here we go. New lieutenant doesn't want to eat with us. A corn cob up his ass, yeah. Oh, here we go. Thought you never missed, Bishop. And she's like, oh, hell. Oh, it never occurred to me. We always go out for synthetic. I prefer the term artificial person myself. I love that. We're giving... It says so much about their state. Oh, yeah. See, the last time the artificial person malfunctioned. Malfunction? Yeah, there were some problems. Yeah. I'm not shocked. It was an older model, yes. Hyperdyne Systems 102. Oh, hey, that explains that the A2s were always a bit twitchy. She's like, oh, okay, you have a behavioral inhibitor. Oh, okay. Well, you still stay the hell away from me. Can't blame her. Guess she don't like the cornbread either. This guy Frost, he has lines. No one ever mentions Frost. Someone might, okay. You're going to say, oh yeah, Hicks. Hudson, right? Vasquez. Maybe Apone. Who even knows about Frost? There's other people in here too. The dropship captain. Often, I mean, there's quotes that come up in this that are more obscure than you may realize here. The Stay Frosty, possibly comes from this movie, because you hear them say stay frosty, and that's supposed to be a reference to keep your head on or something. But then I've heard other people in the Marines say it's actually an older term. You don't want to melt down, so you stay cool, stay frosty. So it's debatable. Yeah, but we'll get to the sweet dropship lines coming up. Can't believe I have such a bag of crumbs of Reese's Pieces. Did you ever notice Hudson's soul patch? She's not doing a great job addressing them, and they're losing faith in Ripley right away. You wonder, though, they say they're out on another bug hunt. Are they used to shooting things that are like cockroaches? Like, hey, we're equipped for all this stuff, but, you know, ultimately there's not a lot that we have to do. Have we not... You know, they've seen action in the sense that they've done these drops. But is there that much combat? They lose form pretty quick. One of them wiped out my crew. Been exposed. Do we look at the aliens like a virus? I wonder if you ever hear that line in a video game. How do I get out of this chicken shit outfit? There's a lot of this. I like to keep this handy for close encounters. Marines, we are leaving. Yeah, hear both of those early on in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. What on earth does Drake have hanging from the bill of his cap? Man, I forgot the name of the guy who plays Apone. He recently deceased, I think maybe 2 years back. He was actually Navy SEAL, and in part was in charge of whipping these guys into shape to get them to resemble something military-like. So it's almost like he is the advisor and actor in the movie. Power loader in action. That's Spunkmeyer in the power loader, I think. I mean, it looks like a legit piece of equipment Caterpillar would make, and we probably should be disappointed Caterpillar does not make a power loader. What can I do to help out? Well, I can drive that loader. Oh, can you? I wonder what class 2 is. Is 1 higher than 2 in this case? How does that work? We're making enough fanfare of this loader sequence to get you to think that maybe it could come into play later in the movie, but I still feel like it's a surprise that she whips this out to fight the Queen. I really do. I feel like it catches you off guard, but at the same time it makes sense because you look back and you go, oh, that's right, they did establish it. Clear, we had her doing that in front of the green screen so we could have a second person operating. B12, please. Yeah, use that line in your indie game. Iconic weaponry. Adios on the smart gun. I don't know what's particularly smart about it. It looks really cumbersome. I see itch on Drake's. I'm going to assume it starts with a B, and that part is kind of obscured by the handle. And there's a very intricate grate on the floor here. And there's a lot of them, these little squares. I've seen those come up on eBay and people want like $1,000 for one little square here. The Colonial Marines armor is familiar and different at the same time. It's really pretty smart. And their car, I think, is used to tow airplanes and was modified in appearance. I wonder, is it that necessary to line up and everybody grab your stuff and go at this precise time? Like, can you not just get yourself in there and be ready by a certain time? Just be at your seat. Confusing dimensions for this thing too. I think that what we're looking at inside is clearly not the same vehicle on the outside. I mean, it looks short on the outside, and then inside it's like, I mean, what do we not have? We got a comms area. It's pretty much a bus. Hudson is psyched. All right, Pharaoh is going to give us some iconic lines. And we're in the pipe 5x5, used in Halo, and also in the South Park episode where James Cameron has to raise the bar. So he goes to the depths of the ocean to find the bar so he can raise it. James Cameron, the bravest pioneer. No, we have to play the song. Who's that? It's him, James Cameron. So this is the movie where the countdown ends with Mark. I don't think Lambert says Mark. I watched it yesterday, but did Lambert not say Mark in Alien after the countdown to drop? Fly the friendly skies on the helmet, yep. We're in the pipe 5x5. Worth noting, we are once again doing some kind of spaceship drop down, descent onto a planet, just like in Alien. They show you more of it in this movie than in the first, and I think in a way, by showing you more, there's more of an opportunity to show dated effects. Some of that going through the clouds looks okay. The composite stuff, not so much. The tighter shots going through the atmosphere are a little bit better. So how many comet drops you done? Well, this is the second one not simulated. Oh, look at this. Hicks is checked out. He's so chill, he is asleep. This isn't exciting enough. Oh, yeah, that composite. I mean, it's pretty obvious not real, but I would take that not real over bad CGI. That's my 2 cents on that. Gorman really into using the technology. He has to look at the cameras. I feel like a lot of Jurassic World is a ripoff of this. There is a scene in particular where whatever the hell the big dinosaur, the big bad of that movie's wandering around. It camouflages itself so that it's like it's hiding up in the walls like the aliens, while you have people in at the base looking at the cameras, the body cams from the SWAT team or whatever, the team they sent out there. And even at the end, you have the T-Rex summoned to fight the big guy. Forgot the name of the forgettable dinosaur hybrid. It's summoned to go out there and fight. The girl runs off to go get the T-Rex so that it can fight. Kind of like, while the thing's trying to eat some kids, right? Well, it's trying to eat Newt. Ripley runs off, gets the power loader. The T-Rex is the power loader. You have the company man in that. Forgot his name, but he was in Full Metal Jacket. But he's the Burke character, Burke wants to weaponize the aliens. Vincent D'Onofrio, he wants to weaponize the Raptors, right? Use them for the bioweapons division. For what it has achieved, the atmosphere processor, I mean, okay, the air is breathable, but everything else looks like shite. The terraforming aspect of this, I don't see a lot of the terra. Flying these in much like the aerial HKs in the Terminator. I think you'd see a lot of similarities between the two designs, actually. Stan Winston, who is the creator of the Terminator skeleton, the effects in that film, puts his own touches on the aliens here. These aliens, people have kind of after the fact considered these as the warrior aliens, whereas we had a drone alien in Alien. The xenomorphs here are, xenomorph isn't really that good of a name for them. But if you're going to say the alien versus the predator, some people like to associate a species to it. The xenomorph suggests it's changing. I mean, that would be like if you had to describe a human that way also, because you grow up and grow old, right? So I just kind of feel like it's not descriptive properly. Aliens featured here have less of a solid dome about them. There's some more ridges, and it looks fine and what. They're not, certainly don't seem to be as tall, and they're not in a lot of situations where they get to appear imposing. They are, however, they got gymnasts in the suits doing jumps and moves with them. You want them to be able to run and jump on a desk or whatever. It wasn't necessarily something you'd be able to achieve in the first film. And of course, plural, we have a lot more of them. See, I feel like it's good that we saw some of this pre-mayhem. Kind of understand what was at stake. We never saw that there were families in the theatrical version. Okay, Newt says she has a brother. What, were they the only kids here? You would about think. Close to it. Small arms fire. People took some shots on these Xenos. Mission time. Does that mean 1 hour and 3 minutes for him with the camera on? The famous motion tracker. The motion tracker featured here, much more in line with what you get in Alien Isolation. You don't see, the keys on air, micro changes in air density tracker. You don't see that in Alien Isolation. Have a feeling if you cosplay Colonial Marine, it would not go well for you. It looks like you are up to no good. I see a Weyland-Yutani sticker in the background there. It was kind of funny that they had that on their big wheel. Like, oh hey, Weyland-Yutani also makes the kids' toys. In a way, this is the future we're signing up for. We're going to have the biggest companies in charge of more than the government. If Amazon, Bezos, if these guys get out into space, they leave the country, then why, wait, we have to pay you taxes? Why? We're not in your place anymore. To get fired from a place that also owns the space station you live on, how do you even leave? And we found the hamsters. Oh man, someone didn't finish their donut. There's almost no possibility of growing anything here, so even getting that donut to table could be a problem. Hole in a ceiling, dropping down. You see some of this in Alien vs. Predator 2. The PC game, I think from 2001, 2002, something like that. The first AVP and the second AVP game, well, also the arcade beat 'em up from like 93. Was it 93 or 94? Those were pretty well regarded. Or looked back upon with fond memories. You go and you look at that AVP 2 even now, and it's like, ugh. Time has not been kind to the graphics there. Don't you just dig how the gun on the back can slide? It can slide to make more ground clearance or height clearance, I guess. Clear, so you can get through the McDonald's drive-thru. Man, that short walk, she got soaked. Look at the difference in her hair. the nature of the xenomorphs, they've abandoned some of these areas just to maintain the nest and kind of keep activity at the nest, lay dormant during the day. That's why they're able to have like a base of operations without, a bunch of stragglers. Once they kind of get the impression this place is empty, it's kind of like, hey, well, I guess we can set up here. But clearly somebody at Hadley's Hope knew what was going on, because they do have, face huggers in chambers. So they've been studying these. I do think it's maybe they don't have the first one they put in the beaker. Maybe once it got off of Newt's dad is probably patient 0. And maybe they, after they found it, it crawled off of him, and now we can put it away. They were studying a little bit, and then, another person goes missing, and hey, there's more of these. Where's this coming from? What's going on here? But we don't, as they mentioned, hey, it takes 2 weeks to get an answer. Don't ask questions. Then it gets out of control. Lose contact with them. Now we're curious. We send in Burke. It's still alive. How did they manage to catch that? Two are alive. Surgically removed before embryo implantation. Died during the procedure. So that is one way you can capture them live. Because remember, these things have a way of breathing for you. D-block. Sounds like prison terminology. This scene here where they're carefully tiptoeing off to the right, looking at the tracker, kind of similar to the first movie when they come across the cat in the locker. Now look sharply. Do you see Newt run across the screen here? Because I think Newt does, but man, they would have shot her. Or close. It may not necessarily be Carrie Henn, but an individual kind of out of focus in the foreground. I think here we got Michael Biehn getting bit again, getting bit on the hand as it had happened in Terminator. There's a lot more hand biting in the 80s, guys. Did we ever see? Is it Susie? What's the name of her doll? Yep, he gets bit. Did we ever see her doll with a body? I don't think we saw that in their little mom and pop salvage operation. All right, Ripley's got to take charge. And she's got those Reebok alien stompers. Were you guys able to score those when they got reissued? Of course, now Reebok owned by Adidas. You don't see a lot of Reeboks on the scene right now. I think they're probably the most beloved line would probably be the pump. There could be some efforts to bring that back, but it really didn't do a whole lot for you. It just kind of made your shoe tight. I think I had the LA Gear knockoff version of the pump, or a Converse. I'm trying to think. Calm her down. You've lost your daughter. This is a chance to bond. I feel like it was important to include that. In the theatrical version of the film, there's nothing about Ripley ever having a daughter to have lost. Rebecca Jordan, 2nd grade, Citizenship Award. Hey, that could be older. It could be an older prize. Who knows? How do you go from Rebecca to Newt as your nickname? Yeah, she's probably seen some pretty horrific things. You know, continuing with the Jurassic Park franchise comparisons, Newt, kind of like that boy in Jurassic Park 3, who was able to live on the island with the dinosaurs for a number of weeks. Nice little moment here. Oh, made a clean spot. Might have to finish the whole thing. Oh yeah, they dirtied her up good. Hey man, if you're running from aliens, I guess you don't have a lot of time for hygiene, but if they mostly come out at night, mostly I guess you have the day to yourself, right? You can do whatever you want during the day. Surely there's still a bathroom that works, right? Smoking or non-smoking? Oh man, more smoking happening, huh? If we're not even smoking in the scene, we need to mention smoking. You're one brave kid, Rebecca. Newt. Carrie Henn's sole acting credit, guys. This movie. And this, yeah, I have a little bit of concern when people say, oh, kid actors are all bad, all this. 'Cause the movies I watched that had kid actors in them, the kid actors were good. So I wasn't really aware that bad kid actors was such a prevalent thing. And now, I mean, you look at particularly bad movies, yeah, bad movies have bad actors and bad kid actors too. Timmy's not around. He's dead, okay? That is edited a little odd. Like maybe she didn't say they're dead, all right, can I go now? But they had to use different takes of her saying that. The way that's kind of cut. It won't make any difference. You have to be suspicious of Bishop. He seems to be here to study, then to eradicate. He looks like he's got a secret, an ulterior motive there. And he's admiring it, too. Much like Ash in the first movie, admire its purity. Can't lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathies. Flame on. Look, we got some movement under the cooling tower. And we're smoking. Can you smoke and chew gum at the same time? Asking as a non-smoker, but definitely a gum chewer. I chew run gum on occasion when I do the jog vlog, and they have a calming gum you can take before doing stand-up comedy. Check out Run Gum. Yeah, I know, this is the action movie. And we haven't had a lot of action, have we? We're doing a little bit of that slow burn. But in this one in particular, once it gets going, it's relentless. And I do understand that being the special edition, in some ways, the pacing is part of why a lot of scenes get cut. Oh, hey, that was a good scene, right? In the special features, right? You see it happen on occasion. Oh, well, that would have been an interesting scene. Why'd they cut that? Sometimes the pacing, it's like the people have been sitting there long enough, and it was getting too boring with this with too much filler. And I'm kind of feeling it on my ass right now. Like, well, we're going about this really slow. The Marines are moving in, but Newt is not impressed. I think if we look closely, there is one shot right here where James Remar might be in the scene. That shot might have had James Remar instead of Michael Biehn. Much like how there appears to be one shot over the shoulder of not Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly in Back to the Future. It could be entirely possible for an editor to, overlook some of that. Here we can see that the xenomorphs have gotten to their interior decorating prowess. We know that the colonists did not design this place to look like this, right? We have to then wonder if it's if the xenomorphs, one of their big goals is the architecture, right? Did they revamp the interior of that ship they were on? Was it previously more metallic looking? See, I don't think that they went to work on that ship. Maybe I'm wrong. But that could have been the design language of the space jockeys people. The engineers, sorry. I haven't seen Alien Covenant yet. I'm kind of miffed as to how the Alien films, the Predator films, the Die Hard films, and the X-Men films from Fox are not on Hulu. thinking perhaps that when this leaves Amazon Prime, it'll probably end up on Hulu. That's my guess. Gorman looks completely confused. What? Wait, we have incendiary devices, fire, and we're under thermonuclear. Oh, I should have seen this coming. We can't have explosive rounds. Right, snap up all of the guns. Collect magazines from everybody. So were we supposed to use man-harsh language? No grenades, no. So what can they... They're going in, and they must be pretty confident there's not much going on, even though they've seen the decorations. They saw the motion tractor kind of... I think it was each colonist was fit with a tracker, and that's what they were seeing. They collected them all, put them under the cooling unit. They're not really expecting much in the way of alien encounter. But you got to keep that handy for close encounters, right? Okay, so does the smart gun, they have ammo still? I mean, Vasquez is walking around like she has it. She did sneak some back, like, hey, I still have these. Oh, that's gruesome. Yeah, they see this go down and they think, let's keep walking further. We just had somebody snatch up all the ammo. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, no real sense of urgency. I think a lot of this could have been trimmed, really. It's a pretty long movie, even not as the special edition. But I think we could have gotten to this stuff a little quicker. Found a colonist still breathing. Please kill me. Yeah, you're looking a little pale, lady. Anyone ever interview the chest burster victim? Oh, bringing back the nostalgia for Ripley here. Well, lucky the thing didn't start running. Well, flamethrower seems to be pretty effective against the chest burster. Less effective as they mature. Oh, the ceiling is alive. The Cirque du Soleil xenomorph. You would about think that Hudson would be one of the first Colonial Marines to die, maybe the first, because of his attitude, his general attitude, dismissive and not taking things seriously, right? Oh, a little fake out jump scare right there. Tap the back of Frost. Here you can kind of see the alien kind of emerges from the tapestry. I think it was Dietrich, a gal, that got picked up. Wisbaski, is that the one? He's pulling away. We lost Crow. Frost gone in that blast too. Or was it Frost that fell? I think Frost caught fire and fell. Let's rock. Cool looking shot. You had orders not to fire. I wonder what the eyepiece does for the smart gun. Oh, we're having communications issues. Vietnam. Apone got snatched, but he's not dead. Sarge's still alive. Lieutenant crumbling under the pressure. Ripley takes responsibility. Who do we still have? I mean, really, the two that are in the dropship are kind of oblivious to all of this going on. They're kind of like, oh yeah, we'll come pick you up, no big deal. We were just chilling over at the HQ. Ripley taking charge again. That's probably her sort of action hero attribute. The ability to take charge. How the hell do you steer this thing? I don't see a lot in the way of steering the wheel. Newt does not trust, or maybe it's because it's for adults, that harness. She's like, I'd rather just hide in the corner. You gotta love the score. Is this James Horner? Oh, shoot. I think so. Yeah, James Horner. The only part of the music I don't really care for is the kind of like marine drum beat type thing as the ship was kind of prepping before the drop. I didn't really care for the percussion beat thing. Marines, we are leaving. Yep. Drake is getting in the shots he can. He was also the sniper at the very tail end of The Peacemaker with George Clooney, Nicole Kidman. And we're learning the consequences of shooting them up close. That scene of the alien getting blasted into pieces, used repeatedly in the same shot, used repeatedly in the sequence with the Sentry guns, which is frankly redundant. In the theatrical cut makes a clearer case to not have the Sentry guns, because it's kind of like, well, what did that do? How does that change the plot of the movie? And we got more acid coming. We burned Hudson. Now, Ripley did a hell of a job punching through at the point they could get out. Oh no, concussion. Concussions are hilarious. Is this where we roll up on the... Yeah. Oh, the alien's on top. Try to snatch you through the glass. Crunch. And the aliens in this movie sound kind of like elephants to me. Oh, not intended for off-road use, huh? You're grinding metal, you've blown the transaxle. Ease down. Man, Michael Biehn is so good with the down line. Ease down. What? Stand fast. What does he say in The Rock? Stand sharp, stand fast. Hold your position, things like that. Newt, just a quick thumbs up. Not a crying, whiny little girl. A girl who's seen some stuff. Just, I know you're here to check on me. I'm just giving you a thumbs up. Move along. Vasquez is angry. You got my boy Drake killed. I've said that, well, I guess it's kind of because it was, a major role. Linda Hamilton gets in shape for Terminator 2, but Jeanette Goldstein certainly got in shape for this movie. And no one brings that up. I mean, look, 1986, she's probably one of the few women in America who could do a pull-up. We roll in there and gas them. Bug out and call it even, okay, man? Say we take off, nuke the whole site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. She's like, yeah, I do like trying to blow these things up. I like this line here. This is funny in all the right ways. This it's an emotional moment for us all. Okay. I know, but let's not make snap judgments, please. Say that clearly important species that we're dealing with, and he gets to this part about the value dollar of, well, they can bill me, right? Like, maybe you haven't been keeping up with current events. We just got our asses kicked, pal. The lines are so good. I cannot authorize. Oh yeah, it's being the company man here. A corporal is now in charge because this is in military jurisdiction. Corporal Hicks, what do you say? This is a multi-million-dollar. We can't make these kind of decisions. He's just a grunt. It is probably billions of dollars. I wonder what nuking the site from orbit would look like. Because they never get that opportunity. Yeah, these guys must have just kind of been hanging out at the base with Bishop. There's something sticky on the ramp. Pharaoh does her job, man. I'll tell you, like... So we don't know what kind of fight Spunkmeyer put up with the alien, but Pharaoh tries to grab a pistol. Like, it was like a 1911, I think. We are not in the pipe 5x5. Well, she reaches for a pistol. Tried. This is pretty good because you get a level of interaction even though there is that rear screen projection. You know, you get the debris out at the people and going through. You can't so much tell that it is a projection because you know that this is a very dusty area. This kind of like fog going through anyhow. I think it overall looks fine. You know what? We got a different personality for each of the remaining Marines. Each character has a different personality. Most of them share a motive. Well, why don't you put her in charge? Let's get to that line. Oh, yeah. Newt's looking stoic. Game over, man. Game over. You hear that a lot. Newt has more sound plans than the adults, it seems. She has it together. Okay, so we're going to go over stuff we salvaged from the wreck. We have the pulse rifles, 50 rounds each. They will bring up the sentry guns here some way. Grenades, don't touch that. You don't see Bishop showing up being concerned. And here we go. More special edition stuff. The sentries. In theory, the sentries take out a lot of aliens, but what difference does it really make? You still have aliens overrunning the place. It's going to be 17 days before we can expect extraction. Give the salute. Why don't you put her in charge? Oh yeah, I like the way Bill gives the line too. These strong performances throughout, really, like everybody's effective. Yeah, give Hudson something to do. That'll help him keep it together. Relax. Yeah, he's trying. I wonder if Sigourney Weaver there is showing that look in the eye, if she is possibly questioning Bishop's motives there. Yeah, Newt's kind of being left out of the planning here. Kind of feels like... Now look, you get something out of Hicks here. She makes her part of the plan, puts her up on the table, tipping the hat more towards Hicks being... He's sort of the everyman grunt, but maybe a good guy. Personality much more sedated than compared to, I guess, the more outgoing and easier to define individuals remaining. Yeah, the Sentry thing, I wonder how loud this is going to be. I've got my TV on 2. Every TV goes to 100. And I think most people keep theirs 20 or below. This particular TV, I don't think I've ever taken over 10. Yeah, that's pretty loud, and it's only going to get louder. I was playing this movie in college on a TV, and shoot, you could hear it down the hallway at the dorm from these scenes alone. Just about, like, I think I even let somebody borrow the DVD. Similar experience there. Tells Ripley about the locator. They have a little moment. It's not necessarily a budding romance, but they seem to be friendly. I mean, you see the shutters go down, but you don't see the Sentry in the theatrical. The Sentry's in the hallway. All right, we got a little bed over here. Time to work my mom powers. I think this movie will be pulled from Amazon Prime in just under an hour. We'll see how much of it I can get through before they yank it. And I do suspect it would get yanked before I can complete it. That it's not going to be like, oh, well, while it's still playing, it's there. I don't think it's going to be one of those cases. I think they're looking at 11 midnight Eastern time being the indicator of a new month. Okay, hold on now. Now I have to think. This line about I had a little girl, she's gone. That indicator that Ripley has a daughter, I don't think is strong enough to resonate with the audience that hears her being the mom. Cross my heart and hope to die. That's not the... You know, some of these things, okay, it's safe to dream. Nerd. That's fascinating, but what's it going to really do for us? Laying these eggs. I'm not sure. Something we haven't seen yet. Now, I tell you, Stan Winston's credit for, the effects bring. Want these specimens destroyed, is that clear? Well, Mr. Burke gave me orders that he's playing the political field here, straddling that line, trying to keep things in his fate about Las Vegas over on Netflix, but they make a lot of comparisons to this and to Aliens and that film, that they keep throwing out lines to be like this. It is not a smart idea to invite comparisons to your shitty movie. Don't go throwing in a bunch of lines to movies that are good. Around on her, I thought you'd be smarter than this. Happy to disappoint you. Well said. Ripley turns against Burke and the company's interest that he makes her a target. Oh, shoot. I wonder if I lost any of my recording there because my computer kind of went asleep. Or the screen did, but anyway, what I'm saying here is that the preoccupation with the Sentry guns seems to allow Burke an opportunity to slide in and do something, unleash sneak away the face huggers, maybe, and then wait for Ripley and Newt to go to sleep. Then again, we have this scene also where Bishop's like, oh, hey, very fascinating. What are we looking for? The emergency venting, right? How long till blows? 4 hours. At that point, we're dead. Blast radius. Didn't he say the size of Nebraska? Or is that a little later? So yeah, the Sentry stuff is totally useless, really. I mean, okay, it's a thing that runs out of ammo and they get overwhelmed anyway. It doesn't actually change things. But regardless, Burke has to wait. Burke. Hell, I was saying Bert instead of Brett in the Alien commentary. Burke has to wait for Ripley and Newt to go to sleep before he can really be up to those shenanigans anyway. Remote pilot a dropship. Who could possibly do that? Maybe an android. Bishop volunteers. Hey man, Hudson's okay with any idea that doesn't put him in danger. Oh, this must have been a pleasant crawl. $180 meters. 40 minutes to crawl down there, an hour to patch in and align the antenna. 30 minutes to prep the ship. 50 minutes flight time. It's going to be close indeed. They're, in a way, they're barely escaping in the nick of time in this movie, and how close that is the same situation I'm having streaming this before it gets yanked. Vaya con Dios. That's a line I think people need to say more, though I don't think it originates here. You're going to see the same exploding, kind of repetitive alien body getting torn up here. It's kind of silly. Yeah. They're just running the guns out. Okay, so at 0, what do? Do they just run forward? No, they retreated just in time. They're looking for other ways to get in. We kind of knew that they like to be in the vents in the first place from the first film. So one's not expecting them to knock on the door. I don't think that we needed the drone guns to force them into the vents. I say drone guns. They're calling them sentries. Stay frosty and alert. There's that frosty. Man, I am on low sleep and I am drinking this Rockstar. And it's doing me right. I'm drinking it slow enough, it's not giving me too much caffeine. I don't want to end up like them. You'll take care of it, won't you? Oh, shit, what am I knocking over? Yeah, I'm knocking over eye drops. Let's just make sure it doesn't come down to that. All right? Let me show you some guns. This is my pickup line. I like to introduce you to a personal friend of mine. M41A Pulse Rifle. These things shred Xenos. How much crawling do you think Lance Henriksen had to do? Not for the audition, but just to kind of nail that scene. We need to make sure your crawling is authentic and surgical, like an android would do. In this film, we're getting much more fighting against the aliens. There's much more for the humans to do to protect themselves than in the original. Would love to know why my Mac that I record this on shut the screen off when I have the caffeine app that's supposed to keep that up so I can tell it's working. Gorman has finally checked himself back into the movie. Like, I just want to forget it. Excuse me. I'm basically in charge. You have that look from Vasquez, not, hey, how you doing? You're glad to be up. None of that. Nope. You have lost all trust. But even Gorman has a redemption arc. Not gonna sleep in the bed. Huh, where'd she go? Huh? Come on, her situation, she hasn't been sleeping in a bed for days. When I was, about Newt's age, I actually slept on the floor. Had a bed, slept on the floor anyway. For several years. I don't think I slept in a bed again until maybe 11 or 12, really. Like, just floor was where it's at. Those throwback lightning effects similar to the Terminator's arrival. I like the way lightning looks in the 80s compared to today. Or in the last decade or two, Yeah, I'll just patch this in, totally not to draw any attention to myself. The aliens don't seem to have a lot of interest in the synthetics, from what we can tell so far. Hell, I haven't seen Alien Covenant. Maybe that comes into play. Maybe an alien finally attacks David or whoever the hell android. What's this doing out? What? Something's amiss. Wake up, Newt. Is it probably safe to say at this point is where all the action really picks up and just doesn't let off? Because it's immediately after this that the aliens get inside. Like right as they're about... It's almost like the aliens came in to run cover for Burke. It's right as he's probably about to get shot by one of the Marines with no protest from anybody else. That the aliens knock out the lights. It says no audio there in the subtitles as they pound on the glass. Pulse rifle's just out of range. I would, sleep holding the rifle if I was in their situation. Oh, hey, I'm trying to get someone's attention on the monitor and it just got turned off. Isn't that a shame? That simple gesture right there shows us who is behind the trap. Not that we'd have to guess much. Oh yeah, I like the way this glass doesn't break, it bounces back here. Kaboom! Makes me think it's not glass, that it's polycarbonate. This whole time they've been causing the commotion, and maybe like encountering a mountain lion, a puma, a cougar on a trail. You make yourself big and loud and you scare it away. Maybe you can scare away the facehugger. Med lab, what's going on? Meet me in the med lab. We got a fire. And just in case it's a normal fire, I'll grab a fire extinguisher. Which I don't feel like we have enough fire extinguishers in our house. We have all these electronics, wires. What happens to dust that gets into these outlets? Doesn't it just seem like everybody's in a fire trap? Oh, look at the way that latched around. I think the way to do that, they probably ran it in reverse and unfurled it from her in reality. Playing it backward worked out. Shoot the glass. We could have had a more satisfying shot of shooting the glass. Hudson, a little bit of a manning up moment for him. A little excessive with the gunfire, but yeah, he's not running away scared. A lot of tension in the music there. Thank you, Horner. It was Burke. She knows because he wanted samples. And then she does her little Perry Mason thing right here. Oh, I'm piecing it all together now. Figure you'd get us past quarantine. Yeah, all this. Yeah, it all makes sense. Me and Newt. Sabotage the rest of you. Be the sole survivor. Sabotage your cryo chamber. Oh, hey, let's just grease him right here. And then the aliens rescue him. You're dog meat, pal. Sounds a little bit like Chet. With that, doesn't he? Weird Science Chet. Bits of pieces and magic from my hand will make you weird science. Boom, boom, boom. Don't know which species is worse. For a damn percentage, yeah, for money or whatever, right? And they're going to be the repurposed line in other media. Look, they are about to take him out right there. I mean, hell, it's Hicks picking him up. He's the one calling the shots. And now the lights go. You know, I don't think Gorman, I forgot his name, or Paul Reiser, or Carrie Henn, they're the three in here who don't have another movie with James Cameron. Everybody else still alive in the film comes back to do something. Or had previously done something. I don't think Lance Henriksen is in anything with James Cameron after the Terminator. You would think Ripley would have mentioned to them that, hey man, these things like to crawl around in vents, so that needs to be a priority we consider. But instead, everybody kind of looks surprised by it, that they're not marching down the hallway. And I feel like I've been talking about them coming to fight the humans for 45 minutes. Actually, it's been about 27 minutes. It feels long, but it's weird. It feels long at the same time. It's still, you can't complain too much about it because everything's so solid that is happening. Oh man, if only they sealed the vents, right? Yeah, we need to weld all of the false ceilings we have. Uh-oh, they're above us. And I think below them as well, I believe. Only we don't see that until Hudson comes to the discovery. See, you can spot the xenomorphs jump around. I think they made 6 suits, so you can see up to 6 on screen at a time. But you certainly get the impression that there's more of them, and no one complains about the quality of the action here. And in ways that to modernize it is a disservice, because you end up with the gun-fu kata over here. Where, okay, we need a bullet time shot. It goes through the alien's head. There's ricochet. A girl will have to be able to fight one of these things and not get touched, because strong women can do anything now. And every boy has a mental disorder. Here's Hudson's last stand. How many does he take out here? A lot of it's off camera, and they're below him. Jumping over, that's a cool shot. Without being excessively too much, you get too much into choreographing out some of this stuff, and it gets to be a joke. I mean, they've easily have shot a dozen of them at this point, right? Now, another thing to bring up here. You think Burke has screwed them over. He's going to this door and he's left them, right? And that's very similar with the lip action and all of the original, right? The extra mouth comes out a little slow to puncture. But if they went in that room with Burke, would they have been trapped, or would they have shot that alien easily? Did he have buddies with him? Maybe for at least a few of them, going in this shaft was a better route. And in movies, vents can be crawled in. We've seen it in Die Hard. We see it here. Rather large space to kind of run in. No place that I know about really has this much room dedicated to, AC or HVAC. I mean, look at the kind of room you have in your house for vents, right? We're talking about like maybe a few, like 6 inches, maybe a foot. Okay, it's an industrial area, but I mean, with this much room, you'd almost think, hey man, we could have another conference room up here. This is a whole nother floor. Half of one. We're almost there. Oh, come on, Newt. Wait up for them. They're trying to help you. Remember, pulse rifles had 50 rounds apiece. That's not Jeanette Goldstein right there. Oh, shit. How could I forget her name? The one of the executive producers of The Walk, Galen Hurd, is firing the gun up close in there. Jeanette Goldstein was actually afraid of it. And in the close-up, you could see that was not Jeanette Goldstein, that was somebody else dressed up like her. Ergo, cancel Gail Ann Hurd for Latinx face. Gorman is getting a redemption arc right here. He came back to help Vasquez, someone who he was not on good terms with. He could have kept running, right? We're going to use one of these fancy grenades we were talking about. She's like, oh, I want to push it too. Kind of seems like he pushed it. I guess it gives you a few seconds to throw it. Maybe that's the idea. What is Newt falling down? Man, everything about that looks like too dangerous to let a kid actor do right now. So there's a turbine next to a ladder and they were kind of climbing around an area people are not supposed to be going in the first place, so okay. It's okay, we can track her with this. Man, for Hicks to be like, oh, it's okay, we'll go get her. Nope, she's gone. We're Marines, we are leaving. We're going to the ship. Forget her. That's going to be cold water. So just below them, just below their hallway is essentially the sewer exposed, which kind of means this is going to be a really stinky place. It would be my guess. I mean, you don't go to the office and look through the grate in the floor and see the sewer below, do you? Really good shot right here as the xenomorph rises out of the water after perhaps overly dramatic. Maybe it doesn't need to be this smooth about it. We do see xenomorphs swim in Alien Resurrection, and they're graceful, or at least as it's established in that film. But I mean, it certainly sneaks up. Oh no, she left the doll's head. Now it is crazy, but Ripley is now on board with the, no, she's still alive, they don't kill you, not yet. I believe you, but we have to go now. The realist. Man, the Marines take a lot of splash damage from the acid blood, don't they? I mean, that about does them in more than anything else. Oh yeah, that's a good shot. Climbing in. I mean, he's got a plate of armor right there at least. I don't know about his condition here. The acid was on the plate metal he had, right? Whatever that compound. They took it off. I don't think it got through him for him to be acting, bullet riddled. Touchdown. Plenty. 26 minutes. We're not leaving. We're not? Oh yeah, there's still quite a bit of movie to go. Yeah, there could be some ways to maybe clean up some of this. And some of the miniatures in the interior of the atmospheric processor. Dubious. I mean, if you saw it today in a new movie, you would make fun of it. This is a movie you grew up watching. There's a familiarity to that. Now, there was a change here, I think, for not just the special edition, but maybe for like the most recent Blu-ray, of the order in which she pulls the weapons off the shelf and assembles them. I get, because it's kind of like, I don't remember how it went, but it was like she pulled off the flamethrower, but put down the pulse rifle, and then grabbed the pulse rifle, but when she laid it down, it was a flamethrower and strapped him. It's something like that. I don't know what she's doing with 95 rounds when they said they had 50 apiece. Maybe it was 50 per Well, they had 4. Didn't he say there were 4 pulse rifles? Oh, we're exchanging first names. Now, I wonder if the appropriate amount of time goes by here before this thing blows up. Does anybody stopwatch this? You now have 15 minutes. Okay. 15 minutes. I got you. Let's see if that's true. Only 5 more minutes after that, and then this thing might be leaving Amazon ASAP. I wonder if they have it programmed in where if you are presently playing the movie, it stays. I wonder if that's a possibility. See, on Netflix, it would change over at like 2 a.m. my time instead of 11 p.m. Oh, a little bit of a pose right there, ready for action. Even if she knew exactly where Newt was, what floor, which I'm not sure how the tracker is going to convey that information to you, it still seems like it, I would need, all right, we need an hour to go get her, right? It's just my chair creaking. Calm it down. Just wishing I had more Reese's Pieces on hand. Well, that red pipe looks mean. Is this the mirror of Ellen Ripley going to go get the cat in the first film? Going to go retrieve Newt. Speaking of, areas of which this movie gets inappropriately referenced, such a ripoff in Resident Evil, not Afterlife, but the one after that. I think there was a Resident Evil movie where they had like giant biodomes and there was an Antarctic thing, whatever, but there was a deaf girl. Looks like Newt. Gets snatched by a licker who then, for God knows why, cocoons her because that's what they do in Aliens, and we needed a scene where the director's wife gets to be Ripley. Oh no, the tracker. Oh no. She's gone. But she wakes up just in time to scream, so that it happens to be nearby too. Oh, the meat looks a little different inside the egg, doesn't it? Run towards the scream. Hey man, you need that pulse rifle. Oh, this looks so dangerous. Yeah, I'm a movie star and I do Marvel films, and I want to just, I'll stand in the green room and you can just do the computer flames around me, and we can all just kind of stay in an air-conditioned environment. We don't even go outside these days to make movies, and everybody will eat it up because it's a property they're familiar with. In trying to leave behind the flame out of the fire and into the frying pan. Or out of the frying pan into the fire, right? Now they're in the nest where the queen, something we haven't seen yet, is laying the eggs. Now, interesting, it has like draped itself, its like egg sac, into this sort of harness. There's like a suspension harness over there for it, and oh boy. That's the big... Yeah, she's big, like badass, indeed. This is a quality design also. I wouldn't say better or worse than the original Alien H.R. Giger stuff, but it's not H.R. Giger's. This is an offshoot. I think it expands upon how this should work, the etymology of this, and in an appropriate, sensical way. There you can see the ridges, all those various ridges on the heads of the alien, instead of it being a straight dome across the back. These warrior aliens have a kind of a squatter head. I prefer the look of... I will say I prefer the look of the alien, the drone, as it is called now, in the first film compared to the warrior look. But Alien 3, don't sleep on the design of the Alien 3 alien. It has a different shape about its chin. And I think it is more in keeping to the design of the original. However, its size is misleading. Sometimes it looks quite big in that movie, and at other times small, because it's taking on the characteristics of what it gestated inside of. So it's like, hey, in this cut of the movie, it's a dog, but at one point we wanted it to be an ox. So Ripley's like, okay, you let us go. I won't flame this. Oh, but now the eggs come on? Okay. You had to do it like that, didn't you? You had to do me wrong. Flame on the eggs. Possibly missed an egg or two. Oh yeah, I've got some rounds. Alright, maybe she doesn't end up missing an egg here. Yeah, when I've run out of this, it's time for grenades in the egg sack. Ooey gooey goodness. Behind us. Would it be worthwhile to have brought a pistol for Newt to use, just in case? I mean, you want to go as prepped as possible for this, don't you? Oh, the alien has come off the throne. We're going to disconnect here and go to work. In Alien 3, I wonder how it is that Ripley decides that the alien in her is a queen. Like, based on what exactly? Did it have a bit more of a crown? Because, I mean, the head is built up a bit more. You had that logo there, but, what, you know, is that just a smaller version of the chest burster at that point? I'm not sure. Reach minimum safe distance of a ways. Come on, elevator. You had no one else using the elevator. Where? I mean, if it's the same one she used, right? Where else did it go? Oh, we better get moving. Walking around, this thing looks pretty realistic. It doesn't look like a jarring stop motion, go motion, nothing that raises flags, really. Now, okay, peers around the corner because we're not going to reveal the apparatus of which it's attached. I can kind of understand, but you didn't need to see the whole thing for the shot anyway. It is also worth pointing out that I think the Queen Alien has a lot of blue stripes painted into it that kind of serve to be like contour. And you might be able to pick that up in the 1080p version I'm watching right now. Probably if there's a Blu-ray, 4K, whatever, 4K Blu-ray, what are they called, the 4K versions? Oh no, Bishop has betrayed us. That I knew that android couldn't be trusted. Now, why is that elevator going up? Out of ammo. Did this scene get cleaned up a little bit? Last I saw this, I thought that the explosion and everything falling behind her, the way the camera pushed in on that, and how we had sort of the rear projection, that it looked worse the last time I'd seen it. Maybe there was some fixing up there. Oh no, close your eyes, baby. The ship, look. We're going to rescue like a helicopter on a Tennessee roof. There was a flood at the time of this recording. I have to question, how did the Queen hide? It doesn't look like the Queen got into a piece of the landing craft here. Did it then jump in? I mean, there were some cuts there that we didn't see. The action, maybe. Okay, let's see. We timed this out, and that, yeah, 15 minutes. That was pretty close. That's pretty close, guess. Yeah, see, it was really more like 14 minutes from the time that the computer said 15 minutes. More violent shaking away from the explosion at the end. The end that's not the end, right? Kind of like in the first movie. Though I think that if we'd said that this was the end, okay, you did a good job, Bishop, and then everybody goes to sleep, I think everybody would have been pretty satisfied with the film. That it maybe wasn't that necessary to do more, but I'm glad they did. We made it, and I have approximately 5.5 minutes left of this still being on Amazon by my guesstimation here. It's supposed to be leaving Amazon in 5 minutes now. We'll see how much of the Queen fight we get to watch. Give him a sedative. We need a stretcher to carry him. Okay. I mean, it's a good thing we didn't go to bed just yet, right? I mean, she had to fight the last alien in her underwear. Oh, there's a difference. You did okay. Yeah, I had to leave because it was, the platform just wasn't stable. And oh no, what's going on? You kind of think chestburster, and then you're like, huh, what is this? And then it pulls back, and you fully realize it's the tail, which is serious. And that's how you divide an android. Oh, this creature looks so good. There, go to me, huh? 4 minutes left. We're going to get to see some of the power loader. And by run into the vent, which is where she likes to hide, I guess, where she knows. Oh man, how fast can that thing run? I'm thinking pretty quick. Turns out most anything outruns a human. All right, I'm kind of safe, but it's going to go after Newt. What do I do? Bishop incapacitated. He looks like spaghetti. Man, is this a great movie or what? You like that pun? Three minutes. At least we're going to get to see the beginning of this fight. Come on, Amazon. Give me a break, Amazon. Come on. Oh yeah, iconic moment. The power loader has returned. Unfortunately, if these did exist, they'd probably be used for nefarious means. Oh yeah, it's time to square off. And one thing that they did fix was when we fall and we get into that mess, right? Bishop gets pulled and sucked in, and they had to cut a hole out in the floor for him, to be in. For Lance Henriksen to stand through the floor. They have, with computer, patched that hole in this version of the film. So it's the special edition, but it's not the old DVD. They've since patched Blu-ray. Two minutes left. Okay, kind of moving our arms around, getting in stance here. If you look carefully, you can see the cables that are in the tail. Only in the close-ups for the tail of the Queen, but in some way, it has a lot of mechanical look about it. A lot of its body looks like cylinders and things too, so they call it biomechanical, but that's not the the biomechanics in film is supposed to be when you crop close on people's like hands doing stuff. That's the correct terminology for that, or example of the terminology. One minute. 1 minute. Will this movie suddenly shut off? Yeah, I like how she's using the tools. We got the welder out. I know we're going miniature here and it's like action figures, but it looks pretty authentic to me. Crunch, Ripley. Okay, it says 11 o'clock. The movie is still going, to my shock. Maybe Amazon's timer is not the same as on my phone. Climb. Oh no, you're grabbing. Don't scuff up my Reeboks. Oh man, this was back in the day when you built sets for movies. Alright, so Bishop has slid into position. The power loader, rip. The Reebok is holding on. Oh man, that has gotta be a pain in the elbow right there. There's no telling what that queen weighs, and it's gone. Jay Bauman calls this a bad special effect. Because he is an ass. She slides, and there you can see they have done a really good job patching that hole in post. And in post, I mean, like 30 years post plus. The cargo is leaving. Push the button. Come on. See, even with the queen gone, it's still like there's a sense of danger there. And yeah, you're going to want to swing that leg up because that could have been a workman's comp right there. Okay, it's all gone. The nightmare's over. It's okay to dream, baby girl. And now our survivors form sort of a family unit. I guess Bishop's the pet. Hicks is kind of the dad, maybe. Not bad for a human. I think that is the name of Lance Henriksen's autobiography. Not bad for a human. Which is a great name for an autobiography. Yeah, so got him patched up. Got him in the Ziploc. And I think she says, is it okay to dream, right? Now, I think Alien 3 is a good movie. It's unfortunately a bad sequel. It does what we have happening with a lot of the late Star Wars, where it's like one hand doesn't know what the other hand's doing, and, oh, well, you did that in your movie? Well, I didn't like that idea, so are we going to sleep all the way home? Yep. Can I dream? Yes, honey, I think we both can. Okay, so this was about Ripley reclaiming her sleep program. Had to go do this so that she could have pleasant dreams instead of nightmares. You know, that relates through Newt, who also having bad dreams, right? Alien 3, good movie, bad sequel. Similar things happening in Star Wars where we have immediate retconning of the previous movie to set up one's own fan fiction. And we made it to the credits. I am completely shocked. William Hope, that's the name of Gorman. Al Matthews, Apone. So yeah, they were... Amazon Prime said it would be gone, but gave me a very generous 4 minutes right there. What do you think of Aliens? Is it better than Alien? This is one of those cases where I would say Alien is slightly better. This is still a super good movie. But no one is going to be upset. Sid Mead, I think he recently died. conceptual artist. No one would be upset if you said Aliens was better than Alien. I don't see it. But, some things to consider. A more recent, hell, it was probably 10 years ago, Colonial Marines game brings back Michael Biehn as Hicks and comes up with some scenario where it wasn't Hicks who was dead. There was somebody broken into the Sulaco, pushed the guy into his cryo chamber, and so that guy was the one that died in Alien 3, and that is alleged. So that's supposed to be canon at this point. Now, the way Disney likes to undo canon here. There we go. Creature effect coordinators Alec Gillis, Tom Woodruff Jr., this is their first Aliens film, and they take the lead in Alien 3 and then work on them, Alien stuff through AVP 2, I believe. And then I think Covenant is largely a CGI thing. I don't know, but yeah, Aliens, quality movie. I hope you made it this far, and not sure what I've got in store for you next. Till next time, adios.